Hey guys, my name's Jack. This is part 2 in a series of videos designed to teach you about this spooky song, Toccata and Fugue in D minor. In part 1, we talked about why this song is so scary and where it came from. In this video, we're going to talk about the basics of the guitar so that anybody can play this song. In part 3, we'll play the song together and I'll even give you some tips on how to sound blazing fast on the guitar. So let's get started. Before we can play the guitar, we first have to know what it is. So let's break it down. There are 3 major parts to the guitar: the head, the neck, and the body. The head of the guitar is one of the most important parts of the guitar to know. It contains 6 tuning pegs, which either tighten or loosen each of the corresponding strings. So the top tuning peg will tighten or loosen the top string, as you can see here. It's important to know this part of the guitar because we have to make sure that our guitar stays in tune. That's why we call these tuning pegs. The second major part of the guitar is the neck. The neck is where we find all of the notes on the guitar. In order to play those notes, we have to press down on the space between the metal strips. The metal strips are called frets, and so is the space between them. So in order to play the first fret on the guitar, you have to press down between the 2 strips. There are up to 6 notes you can play on the fret because there are 6 strings. Without the frets, we count between each space. So this would be the first fret, the second fret, third fret, and so on, until you get to the last fret, and on this guitar, that would be the 22nd fret. Third major part of the guitar is the body. The body is where you'll be plucking the different strings to create vibrations. Those vibrations are picked up by these electric coils that send the signal through the guitar cable into the amplifier to create the loud sound that we hear when we play electric guitar. So those are the different parts of the guitar. But how do we play it? The neck will rest in your left hand, and you can slide your hand either towards the head or towards the body to play the different notes. You'll hold the pick with your thumb and your pointer finger. To use the pick, you can either stroke up or down on the guitar. Stroking down or up will not affect the way that the notes sound. However, when you get enough practice, alternating between down and up will allow you to play the notes faster. There are 6 strings on the guitar. The thinnest string is the E string. We call this the first string. The thickest string is the 6th string. It is also the E string. So there are 2 E strings on the guitar. The 2nd string is the B string. It's the 2nd thinnest string. The 3rd is the G string. The 4th is the D string, and the 5th is the A string. So those are the 6 strings, and we already talked about the 22 frets, which are the spaces between the metal strips. So let's start to play some music. When you play your notes, you'll want to make sure that your thumb is resting on the neck and supporting it, while the other 4 fingers spread out to play the notes. When you're pressing down on the notes, make sure that the finger is between the metal strips or the frets. You don't want to touch the metal. Pretend the metal is lava. The first note we're going to play is on the 7th fret of the D string. So, counting down, we've got the E string, the A string, and the D string, also known as the 4th string. The 7th fret, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the D string and the 7th fret. The next note you're going to play is the 5th fret on the D string, the same string. You'll then go back to the original note on the 7th fret. And then back again to the 5th fret on the D string. The next note will be the 3rd fret on the same string, the D string. The note after that will be the 2nd fret on the D string. The last 2 notes will be on the string just below, the A string and the 5th fret. Then the 4th fret, then the 5th fret. Congratulations! You just played the first part of this song. That's it for part 2, and the next video we'll play the song together, and I'll show you some tricks on how to sound really fast on the guitar. I really hope you guys enjoyed part 2 of the video series. Before we go, I wanted to talk to y'all again about how to stay safe during the pandemic. More holidays are coming up, and it's more important than ever to stay out of the hospital. Last time, we talked about washing our hands for at least 20 seconds and avoid touching our face, because that's one of the most common ways this virus gets into your body. Another really important thing is to prevent it from spreading to other people. So that means wearing a mask and keeping your distance. If everyone around me is healthy, why do we have to wear a mask? Why do I have to be so far from them? It's not as safe as you might think. It's estimated that 1 in 3 people with coronavirus don't show any symptoms at all, not even a fever. So how do we know they're sick? Well, unless they get tested, we don't. The virus is kind of like a ninja. It finds a way to hide in plain sight. But like a ninja, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it can't attack. The way this virus attacks or spreads to other people is through respiratory droplets. Now imagine you have the coronavirus, but you're not showing any symptoms. Instead, you're releasing respiratory droplets that are infectious for up to 14 days. Just talking, you'll be releasing over 200 respiratory droplets a minute, traveling over 6 feet. That means just 5 minutes of talking is going to release 1,000 respiratory droplets. If you shout or sing, that'll force the respiratory droplets even further, up to 20 feet. And if you sneeze, achoo, that releases over 30,000 respiratory droplets, traveling over 200 miles per hour. That's about as fast as a Ferrari Enzo. That's why it's so important to wear a mask, to prevent those particles from spreading, and to keep your distance, so that even if some of those particles break through, you're not near them and you can't get the virus. So that's it for part 2. Thanks for watching the video. Stay tuned for next week. We'll play the song together and have some fun.